Today, the Nobel Peace Prize, the actual physical thing, was put on an empty chair in Norway. The last time this happened, the last time the chair for the Nobel Peace Laureate sat empty at the award ceremony was 1936, because that year's awardee was locked away in a Nazi concentration camp. This year, the laureate is Liu Xiaobo. He is 1 year into an 11-year prison sentence in China for criticizing that country's ruling Communist Party for its human rights abuses. And he's in jail for advocating reform in his country. China also barred Mr. Liu's family from coming to Norway to collect the prize in his name. But the man winning the award and his family were not the only notable absences today. The Peace Prize ceremony is one of those must-dos of the international political calendar, but 19 countries announced in advance this year that they would not send anybody to it. Those countries were China, plus Colombia, Cuba, Egypt, Iran, Kazakhstan, Morocco, the Philippines, Russia, Saudi Arabia, Serbia, Sudan, Tunisia, Ukraine, Venezuela, Vietnam, and the two countries in which America still has wars, Iraq and Afghanistan. Also, the other country in which we sort of have a war, but we don't talk about it like that, Pakistan. CNN reported today that Ukraine and the Philippines changed their minds after this list of 19 was published, but that's CNN's reporting, and I can't verify it. All these other countries boycotted the Nobel ceremony today because China essentially told them to. China is the world's second biggest economy. In a country like Iraq, that makes for some really practical politics. China's building Iraq's new power and oil production plants. If Iraq ever gets a functioning economy, it'll owe a lot of that to China. Can't really afford to burn a bridge there. But in addition to using the size of its economy to flat out intimidate a whole bunch of countries into pretending like there is no Nobel Peace Prize this year, China also invented a fake one to compete with it. A fake Chinese ripoff of the Nobel Peace Prize they invented this year as a distraction. They called it the Confucius Peace Prize. They awarded it for the first time ever this year, and it appears to have been a bit of a panicky rush job. The awardee, for example, says he was never informed by the prize folks that he'd actually won it. Nevertheless, they held a Confucius Peace Prize ceremony, and instead of awarding the awkward lucite trophy to the guy they picked for the award but didn't tell about it, or to an empty chair in his honor, they randomly gave it to a little girl whose name we were not told, but who is identified by the Don't Think About the Nobel Confucius Peace Prize people as, I kid you not, they identified her as an angel of peace. That said, several people in the audience say it appeared that two girls at the ceremony were going to collect the prize together, two angels of peace, until one of the little girls started crying, so she did not get to do it and the other one had to do it alone. All of which makes this story a tidy, horrible living pageant of the definition of the word travesty. Chinese rulers trying to force applause for a very cute and not at all to blame angel of peace, while the free but highly indebted and therefore sometimes easily intimidated world honors a Nobel Peace Laureate who was locked in a Chinese prison for his principles. All of which makes it suddenly intolerably gross all over again that we owe China $880 billion right now because they buy all our debt.